Oh, fuck it. I'm not going to bother. Welcome to the Glacially Musical Podcast. I'm not going to bother wiping my glasses, so you're going to have to stare at my stupid, unadorned face without my cranial accessories. Of course, I am Nick Cameron of Glacially Musical, joined by my good friend. Friend? I got some of that country grammar up on there. Been watching a lot of videos about how my hometown of St. Louis sucks ass. Anyway, joined by my good friend, the man who's always there, Keefy Nicholson. I don't know something. How we doing, buddy?
Wait till they get a load of me. Keefy Nicholson, Jack Nicholson, no.
No, I know it doesn't.
Nespa, Batman, no.
I think my
Okay.
button is broken. Man, everything is not working right today.
Bummer.
But I can put my microphone in the right spot, and I can use my button app to mute shit anyway.
Yeah,
So thank you
my
for
button.
joining us this week. We are returning to our series on Obituary. Of course, we're going to be talking about Obituary, The End Complete, an album whose name I keep forgetting. Beer check, vinyl check, news of the day, meat of the episode. Meat of the episode, of course, is Obituary, The End Complete. Because I am fans of patterns, the Glacially Musical Podcast beer of the week is a Urban Chestnut STL IPA. Lawyer wife was kind enough to stop and grab some for me on her way home yesterday because I stayed home sick.
It's a mighty good pour. Um, I do not have a beer, but I do have a Waterloo Blackberry Lemonade Seltzer. I am clearly not at my home. I'm pet sitting for a week. So makeshift studio, do have the Yeti microphone, do have my second camera, pop on the seltzer. And cheers, sir. Cheers. The best hour of the week.
Cheers, my friend. It is the YouTube happy hour. Now, when I pull these records out, please know that I spent 2 to 3 minutes trying to determine if this was one or two records. So you see the back, it's all good and pink. You see the front, it's all good and pink. It's actually two records. So, as I have said many, many times in this podcast, do not skip on the bargain bin. The bargain bin is where you're going to find a lot of cool classic rock things that everybody doesn't need anymore because they already have them. But maybe you're me, and maybe you don't have Wild Eyed Southern Boys by 38 Special. Maybe that's worth $3 to be able to hear that one song of theirs, Hold On Loosely, which I did not know was theirs. I'm just going to point out that this album was clearly written by two camps of people. One camp of people that felt that these guys should be Leonard Skinner, presumably led by Ronnie's younger brother, Donnie Van Zant. Ronnie? Is
Johnny.
Lonnie's the dad. Ronnie?
Ronnie passed away.
Yeah. Then
Johnny's
Johnny
the
Van
one.
Zant.
And Johnny is now in Leonard Skinner.
So this is Lonnie Van Zant.
No, Johnny.
Donnie.
Johnny.
Who's the dad?
I don't care. I don't know
The
who the
dad.
dad is.
It's like Lonnie Van Zant.
I
It's like
don't
Lonnie, Ronnie,
could
Johnny,
not
Demi, and
could
Donnie.
not give a fuck.
Wow.
There's only one Van Zant I cared about, and he died in a plane crash.
All right. And other one is previous podcast subject on the Department of Metal Antiquities, Gillen, Future Shock. You know what amazing, ripping Swedish guitar players on this record?
I sincerely hope that's Ian Gillan and not the other Gillan.
Yes, it is Ian Gillan.
Okay, not the other Gillan I don't like. Okay, good.
No, it's Ian Gillan.
Okay.
Do you know what ripping Swedish guitar players on this record?
Yngwie Malmsteen.
Panic Yannick Gers.
No, Yannick. Panic. Well, did he actually play, or is he fooling around with the guitar?
I can't speak to that.
Okay.
Again, like $5, and I mean,
That's pretty good.
and it was podcast content. So I mean, it was like two things.
I remember hearing that album as a kid. It's actually a fun record. It's a fun listen.
It's a good listen. Ian
Gillan is the shit, bro. He's so fucking good as a singer. I do love Coverdale. Coverdale Deep Purple is really my Deep Purple, but Ian is incredible, dude. He doesn't get enough credit.
I completely agree with that. My cover, yeah, I mean my Coverdale's is cover or mine is Coverdale Page. I that's what I want.
I understand. Is that
Coverdale Page, God, Coverdale and Hughes.
well? Yeah, well, I mean,
I'm sorry, my
I
equipment is not working. I'm
you're
like
all over the
Randy
place.
Rhodes. I'm like Randy Rhodes, man. I rely on my tone. If it's not right, I don't know what to do. My stuff's not working. I'm freaking out.
No, calm down. Take a deep breath. It's gonna be okay. I'm making do. I'm out of my home, and I had to improvise. I don't have a lot of money, even though one of my favorite record stores in the Bay Area is in the town I'm in. I'm back in Fairfield, where I used to live. So you'll see some Ghost Club videos for the next week come from here or in the future. So I needed to bring my vinyl check with me from home because I came up here last night in advance of this show. And so here's the first thing that I got in 2024 because we're on to 2024 releases, as I described. I don't have a 2-4, but it's kind of like a mixed something for. I was sent a care package from Nuclear Blast early last year. Shout out to Nuclear Blast. By the way, yeah, Nuclear Blast, I believe, celebrated like 35 years last year in existence, maybe more. And they sent this package to me of just
I'm
kind of,
older than that.
well, yeah, so am I. But they sent me this little box set, Gathered at the Altar of Blast. This is a commemorative box set. It has things in it that Nick would never buy, such as 3 7-inch picture discs, two-sided with
Why would anybody want that?
well, it's cool. You'll see why. I'm gonna
It's not
share.
cool.
I think it's kind of cool. Well, it was free, first of all. So second, it's free.
Free is cool.
So side A, Municipal Waste, Dead End. Side B, Exodus, Crime of the Century. Side C, Immolation featuring Max Cavalera, Morbid Visions, Sepultura cover. Side D, Possessed Shadow Cult demo. Side E, Cataclysm, The Awakener 2020 something mix. And Corrosion of Conformity on the Hunt, the Leonard Skinner cover that ended up getting kind of put to streaming at the end of the year this year. So kind of cool. Here's the box again, kind of like this cool thing. And I'm going to unbox it for you. This will look really cool on my shelf. Boom, boom. There, that's that kind of thing. And like the little green Nuclear Blast color. Then there's the 3 7 inches. And I'm just going to kind of just take out one because they all look kind of similar in the mylar. No sleeve, but in the mylar, in the plastic sleeve, I suppose. Are these like hermetically sealed? I thought they were opened. Oh, there we go. They're thicky boys too because they're picture discs. I mean, I don't know how they play, right?
They're picture discs. They're going to sound a little squiffy.
They're gonna sound squiffy, just like your screen. And then, so there's 3 of those, right? 6 sides. And then there's a poster. Dare I open the poster of the grandiose artwork of all the things? The whole poster. Kind of cool, kind of cool. Don't know which side is upside or not. It also has a cassette. Let's see what's on the cassette. Oh, it's in a puke green, like their colors. I am not entirely sure what is on here, but it's a cassette. Might be all the songs. They definitely could all fit on here. And it also came with a patch and it came with a pin. So, I mean, for free, this thing I think sold for like $50. I don't know why who would buy it, but they gave this to me. So kind of cool. And the care package also had like some CDs and DVD, but I didn't want to carry that, schlep that whole box here with all my stuff I needed for the weekend, the week and the weekend. But anyway, pretty cool. Thanks, Nuclear Blast. And that was
That
the
is a
first,
spectacular traveler's vinyl check.
right? Like considering everything. And in case I'm
Did,
here,
did,
in
did
case
it
I'm
come with
here
a
for
Swiss Army knife?
it did not. In case I'm here, it did not come with a military ready to eat ration and a gas
Oh, so
mask. And you muted yourself.
MREs. I'm sorry. By the way, I got my business. I got my business. Damn it. Can you hear me?
I hear you fine.
Okay.
Take a breath.
No. No.
You are so
I'm just gonna
stressed
be
out today.
what?
You are so stressful
Yes.
today.
At work we got like a new system. And I have spent the last 4 years of my life learning our old, antiquated, stupid system. But no, I'm going to be a bundle of nerves. I'm going to explode and I'm going to piss on myself. That's how this is going. Continue.
Yikes. Anywho, in case I'm here next Wednesday as well, I have a vinyl check for next week packed with me in case. But otherwise, good to go.
Can I tell you a secret?
You could.
I'm doing it this way so the kid can't hear me. Just to see if she listens to this. Her Bikini Kill tote bag has shipped. That's one of her birthday presents. I also decided I'm going to buy Nirvana Nevermind for her.
Cool. Don't post a picture of it anywhere because you will get flagged and your account will be deleted. Because
no, I'm not posting pictures of
little,
that. No, hell no.
That little guy's penis.
That little sausage?
That little baby Vienna sausage is offensive to internets, to TikTok and Instagram and YouTube all got me flagged.
I hear you. All right, let's move on into news check because we are on a time frame. I wanted to do a full podcast on this, but we didn't have time, so I just wanted to run through this before we forget it. Ultimate Classic Rock has put out their top 20 records of 1985, which I don't know that anybody really needs that. I don't know if anybody's looking at 1985 going, man, that year's great. So here's what we got, right?
Was this the thrash records?
No, just all records.
All records, okay.
Faith No More, We Care a Lot.
Great.
Okay.
Have it.
Overkill, Feel the Fire.
Have it.
Corrosion of Conformity, Animosity.
Have it. Love it.
Night Rangers, Seven Wishes.
Motorin.
Motorboatin'. Dio, Sacred Heart. This is when Dio's run, his meteoric awesomeness, starts kind of being a shooting star. And what does they say about what happens to a shooting star as it goes down, as it flies? You get less of it. You get less. It's less good. Sacred Heart is less good. Twisted Sister, Come Out and Play. Got that on vinyl as well. Nobody asked for that. I'm the only person that likes that record. Wasp, The Last Command. I have never heard anybody ever mention that album in passing.
They are still playing like one song from it live.
Oh, good for them. Rush, Power Windows.
Love it. Great.
Not a Rush fan to speak of, so I don't know. Got this one on vinyl recently. Checked it. ZZ Top, Afterburner. Not spectacular.
Give me all your love and all your hugs and
if you need
kisses
one
too.
ZZ Top record, it's probably not this one.
It's Eliminator, yeah.
But I have one ZZ Top record, and it's this one.
Okay.
The Cult, Love.
Great record.
Previous podcast subject, Exodus, Bonded by Blood.
Great album.
Previous podcast subject, Motley Crue, Theater of Pain.
Not a great album.
Possible future podcast subject if Keefy's nice to me. Rat, Invasion of Your Privacy.
Oh, is it hot in here or is it just me?
It's hot in her room. That's why the window's open. Number 7, Megadeth, Killing Is My Business, and Business is Good. We should do a Megadeth run.
We really need to do like several Megadeth runs.
Cannot believe we haven't. Number 6, Anthrax, Spreading the Disease.
Not their best work, but a fine album.
Slayer, Hell Awaits.
A previous podcast subject.
Previous podcast subject. Not their best work either.
I had an ex-girlfriend, emphasis on the ex, that said Slayer stopped being good after Hell Awaits. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, not even Rain and Blood was good to this person. I was like, you were sick in the head.
Okay, I have the weirdest takes about metal.
That's a weird fucking take.
And that's weirder than any of my takes.
That is one of the weirdest takes ever. And I just was like,
all right. Speaking of shooting stars and the law of diminishing returns, number 4, AC/DC, Fly on the Wall.
It's all downhill after Back in Black, bro.
Back in Black was as Duncan would say, the zenith.
The zenith?
He says zenith.
He's British, so he says
I did not know that was a thing. It freaked me out. He has been like busting out like some British phrasing lately. I think he's trolling me.
He is a treasure.
He is a treasure.
Don't besmirch
Number
him.
3, and the reason why we're doing this, Kiss, Asylum.
Not that record. Fuck.
You know, there are like 8 people in this world that think Asylum is the greatest thing they've ever done. And that somehow the songs that Gene Simmons did on this record, including Secretly Cruel, aren't just fucking awful and embarrassing to even listen to. It's embarrassing if somebody comes into this room while Secretly Cruel is playing on my stereo.
But that's entirely possible because I know you have it.
I do have it.
You do have it. You showed it to me.
Hey. You can't make fun of me for this one.
I'm not.
I bought this one in 2020, and I'm gonna bring it down a lot of notches, and I'm sorry, but my mother was actively dying, and my best friend took me fishing. We listened to Ace Frehley's new record, which I reviewed, Origins Volume 2, and my family took me to an antique mall in order to just kind of clear my head for a minute, try to pretend like my world wasn't falling apart. And I found it that day. It was 15 bucks. It's original pressing. I had to come home with it. I did. Don't listen to it much. All right. I'm going to disqualify number 2, even though it's the best record on the list.
This is the list descending to number 1.
Yeah.
Asylum is in the top 5. I had a
Top
power
3.
window. I had a power windows. The fuck? I had Exodus and Hand Slayer
Yeah.
and Anthrax. My head is hurting.
And quite possibly Kiss's worst record.
Do I smell French toast? Am I about to have a stroke? What is happening?
Does your mouth taste like batteries?
A little bit like I licked a penny, like a butthole.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. We're okay, ready? I'm disqualifying this record. It's the best one on the list. Iron Maiden, Live After Death.
Live albums by nature can't be the best
Right.
in anything.
They're
but like,
different. They're different.
They're just a live album, but it's fine.
And
It's a great
number
record.
1. Okay. Keefy's going to stroke out on number 1.
If you say U2 or Journey, I'm gonna shit my pants.
No, I think that would be a worthier number 1 than what I'm about to say. And I hate those bands. I hate them. Aerosmith, Done with Mirrors.
Why?
I don't know.
I thought that was 84 though. Why is it 85? 85?
I don't know. 80, no, it's 85.
I thought okay. I
And
thought it
Run
was 84.
DMC was 86.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
All right, so yeah, that list is garbage.
That is wow, ultimate classic rock. How the mighty have fucking fallen. Jeez. Well, this podcast is better than that. We have a list coming up on this podcast that's better than that list. All right.
All our lists are better. Our lists are great.
Is that we do pretty good listicles. Is
Yeah,
that your whole news check?
That's my whole news check.
I only have one news check, and that is that Bon Jovi, same era, Slippery When Wet is getting the something 40th anniversary treatment, deluxe everything, CD, remix, remaster, vinyl. I've never had this record on vinyl. And I was in junior high school when this came out, and my music teacher in junior high school brought this record in to play it as an example of contemporary great music.
Oh! I thought it was going to be what not to do. Like,
no, he was like, we analyzed the record. We listened to this entire record. Half the class was enthralled. Half the class was disgusted and freaked out. I was like, not my first choice to play for the class, but like,
gotta say that's pretty beautiful. My frenemy and I in 5th grade, Tom Hall. No, Tom Hall was my friend that reminded me of that guy in my next school. We both really dug on this record. On "You Give Love a Bad Name," that track. Bought this for Lawyer Wife several years ago when she realized she did not have it, and she's like, you had it in your hand, you didn't buy it." Well, yes. I mean, has she listened to it? No. But if she keeps being part of the purchasing process,
she's part of the problem, not the solution.
The solution is going to the record store.
I agree.
Hey, whenever
would just make it better.
When you get lonely, you go to the record store and you visit your friends.
Visit your friends. That's fair. It's all happening. Slippery When Wet. It's a banger. I think
great record.
Bob Rock might have produced it. I'm not sure.
No.
You can look it up if you want to. I'll give you a second.
I'm looking it up.
I mean, it's peak Bon Jovi. It's peak. Runaway's a great song. I don't think the rest of that album is that good, but that song is
not that good.
I think it's great. I'm still trying to figure out who sang that girl part at the end.
No. I was right. Bob Rock did not produce this. Bob Rock, I don't think he was producing yet at this time.
Oh, he still had Rockhead or whatever the fuck, Blockhead. Whatever his dumb band is.
Somebody in the Payolas. It was the Payolas. I actually held that record, the one they talked about in Year and a Half, where they put, so this guy became the leader, and they figured they'd put him out in the front and be just a chick magnet. That was when it became so-and-so and the Payolas. I held it in my hand, and I went, I don't know if $10. $10, man, $10.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Rock and the Payolas.
No, it wasn't Bob Rock. It was the other guy.
Whatever.
But and yes,
Um,
Bob looked like a woman on that, as James said.
whatever.
No, this was produced by Bruce Fairbairn.
Oh, Bruce Fairbairn, who I think has passed on now. I'm
He
not
has
sure.
passed on, but he's
Um,
left his mark. He's got a legacy.
he produced a lot of Aerosmith records. He
He
was a great.
produced peak Aerosmith,
Yeah, well, like the
and,
not
and
not done with mirrors, but the better ones
well,
that
he
follow.
probably did Done with Mirrors too, though.
He might have. Nah, I'm not sure. It might have been. I don't know.
You know, no, I'm
Um,
kind of curious.
that's my entire. You can look that up while I pontificate. That is my entire news check. And after Nick looks up the discography of Bruce Fairbairn,
Ted Templeman,
Ted Templeman, just a gigolo. Um,
and then number one Duke of New York Aerosmith record, Permanent Vacazione,
I love Permanent Vacation.
was Bruce Fairbairn.
I got in trouble in high school for that record. We know this. We've told the story here already.
And I
Um,
gave you a DJ copy of
I
that.
have a copy of it at my home, and I thank you greatly for it. And I will not. I will never upgrade that because you gave it to me, just like the Megadeth I got from you and a
I
few other
upgraded
things,
it.
test pressings and things you've given me. You give love a bad name, but you give records a good name, Nick. What's your shirt check, sir?
I am rocking the Goonies
Goonies
because
never say die. That's
it's
it.
just what I was wearing underneath the black and gray flannel.
I like in Deadpool 2 or whatever the fuck it is. He's like, settle down, one-eyed Willie. He's just got all the Josh Brolin puns. Thanos, one-eyed Willie. Yeah.
I think Deadpool 2 is my favorite.
It's pretty spectacular. Zazie Beetz as Domino is pitch perfect. I do love
The best part was, and your superpower is luck.
no,
I'm sorry,
that's
what?
not a power. No.
But it is.
But it is. And she's right. She's absolutely right. Anywho, my shirt check, because I always forget my shirt check, is Joe Bob's Very Violent Valentine. Joe Bob's Drive-In, if you're familiar with Shudder, the horror movie channel, and this TV show that is the host of a lot of horror movies that I like. Thank you, Fright Rags, for another banger shirt for like $10.
Did I tell you about my what lawyer wife got me for Christmas?
I don't that record money. I don't remember.
Besides that, Dive Bar of the Month T-shirt club.
That's fun.
So the first one was the Chevy Chase Inn, which has nothing to do with noted asshole Chevy Chase.
Or Chevy Chase, Maryland. Maybe it does.
No, it's in Kentucky.
Okay.
But you get a postcard about the bar. You get a sticker, so the sticker's on the record case, and you get a T-shirt. It's pretty neat stuff.
Oh, that's kind of fun. And then you have an endless shirt supply for this shirt checks.
I know. That's what I said.
I did not hate the Saturday Night movie. Apparently, Chevy Chase hated the portrayal of him as a complete douche canoe.
I haven't seen it. I need to see it.
It's pretty fun. Nick Braun. I don't think you watched Succession on HBO, but Nicholas Braun, Nicholas with a C, no K, Braun, played both Jim Henson and what's his face, Lacta Gravis.
Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman. Played both roles.
And it wasn't Latka Gravis. It was Foreign Man. What? ABC co-opted it. This is your people. He sings the song of your people.
I'm not
Abu Dhabi way.
Okay. It seems possibly offensive. But anyway.
No, it's not offensive. That is the Caspian Harvest song.
Okay.
From Caspiar.
We got 51 minutes to do this.
All right, let's roll.
Record. Tell me about 1992. Tell me about
1992 is a really, really interesting year because Metallica did the thing no one ever thought could happen. Metallica made metal, real metal, scary metal, popular and profitable. And then Obituary, Deicide, Cannibal Corpse, all these bands out of Tampa Bay are making noise. Ha ha ha, not the dad joke, but they're making noise in the industry. Carcass is touring America. They're about to release Heartwork. Deicide is about to, I don't remember all the 92 records. Morbid Angel is about to release possibly the greatest Tampa Bay death metal record of all time, Covenant. But we are
going to do it momentarily, I promise.
We will. We are still just 5 months out from the Black Album. The Black Album, 5 months? No, 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 not 5 months.
The album's already out.
Yeah, it's out. We're 5 months past it.
Yes,
We
yes,
are
yes.
actually no. We are. It came out in August of '91, so we are 8 months out from the Black Album. The Black Album at this point in time has only released 3 of the 600 singles off that record. There are still 18 singles, 18 videos from Metallica yet to come. My God, they just never stop. They're like half of that video, half of that record are videos.
I just like to imagine by like before Binge and Purge comes out, how many like what is the house or the car that Matt Mahurin and Wayne Isham were able to buy? What is the luxury item that Wayne Isham was able to buy for your least favorite Metallica song and video of that era, Wherever I May Roam, that was played 1,000,000,000 times?
Yeah, he was able to buy a Lambo that had seats stuffed with cocaine. It didn't have cotton. It didn't have foam rubber. The back seat was cocaine.
Right.
The
Pure
trunk,
cocaine.
the trunk was cocaine.
Right. And
The
Matt,
glove box were straws shaped like vacuum cleaners. That's what he was able to buy.
yikes.
And then he called Lars. He was like, "Hey, do you want to ride in my car?" And Lars said yes.
He definitely said yes.
Lars was a big fan of the cocaine.
He
It's
was.
like all the best part about Lars's cocaine stories is he never tells them. Other people tell them. So when I read Sebastian Bach's book, he's like, "Oh, I didn't really use that much drugs. I didn't even really like cocaine at all. But when anybody offered it, I was going to Lars's house." Because apparently Lars just had like bricks of it. Lars was Scarface. He was Larface.
Lars Mace. It's disappointing, but it is what it is. Everybody was doing it.
It's not. It is not disappointing because they didn't go too far. They didn't ruin anything. Their live show never suffered. Which, considering how much those people drank, I'm amazed that their live show never suffered. Anyway, so right now, major labels are in Tampa with record contracts, and right behind them is ESP Guitars, and on the other side of them is BC Rich Guitars. When Metallica made thrash metal, even though it was popified, I don't think I'm out of turn saying that. Once they were able to make metal something more profitable, because like Sad But True is a heavy fucking song. It's scary content for pop. Imagine listening to Top 40 radio and you hear Taylor Swift and you hear Mariah Carey and then Shania Twain and whatever dude pop stars. And then all of a sudden, it's just like, what? So now there's money to be made on this. Or so they think. Well, if one version of extreme metal sells well, certainly an extremer version of metal will sell extremer. Well, it didn't. It sold reasonably well for what they were paying, but the world changes. At this point in time, Ricky Rackman has now solidified his time in Headbangers Ball, and I don't think we've really talked about that program enough. We've referenced it here and there. It's come up, it's come down. Headbangers Ball was playing bands like Obituary and Morbid Angel at this time. A year later, when they started doing more of the alternative stuff, they came up with Enter the Pit, which was a half-hour show. After they took away a half hour of Headbangers Ball and added a half hour of that for the heavier music, and that lasted like a week and a half, it seemed like. So basically, the party didn't last long, unfortunately.
Maybe Headbangers Ball needs an episode of the Glacially Musical Podcast, like a chaser retrospective. I'm not sure. Maybe. I've interviewed Ricky for Ghost Cult, so
he seems like a good guy.
He's a really good guy. I met him in person and I interviewed him, and he is rad.
See, he seemed a little scummy at the cat house, but I mean, everybody seems scummy at the cat house.
I'm not so sure. I think he's the least scummy of all his friends.
I'm not saying that's not true, but you know what? If you are the least dirty, you still dirty. So, Obituary continues their thunderous run with The End Complete. And Again, we still not only do we have the classic Obituary logo with the swords, the pointiness, the batleth looking orc font. I mean, those look like an orc sword combined with a batleth to make the O and the Y. But now they've introduced the wizard's wand. I don't know what you would call that thing. And heavy metal, I don't think it's unfair to say heavy metal has always had the best album covers because it evokes far greater imagery. At this time, you would hear all the people saying, "Oh, all the metal guys. Oh, well, we love horror movies and this and that, and that's why we're into death metal, blah, blah, blah." Okay, that's great. And you know what? I love Morbid Angel. I love Deicide. I love Cannibal Corpse. We know that. We've been over that. And we'll be over some of that more later. But none of those sound like horror movies to me. At best, they sound like B movies. Like, not... I mean, it sounds like, Saturday the 14th. Jason's Hangover. It sounds like satire. This is Obituary, however, musically sounds like a horror movie. It would do well to score a horror movie. They have this muck, this swamp ass that no one else has. And maybe it's because, as Keefy points out every chance he gets, Obituary is the only Tampa Bay death metal band from Tampa Bay. Everybody else moved there for some reason. Wonder what that reason could have been.
I think Deicide is also local, but I just think like Tampa, like Obituary was the first to make it out and get signed.
Very, very possible. Very
I think
possible.
Deicide is also from the region. And then other bands, Atheist and other bands, pop up around the same time as Deicide. So there's other bands eventually, Monstrosity with Corpse Grinder and stuff like that. So yeah, pretty good.
Worth pointing out, this record that we're talking about today sold 250,000 copies.
Oh, it is their most successful record still. I don't, this could be peak Obituary. We'll have to talk about it.
We will talk about
it. Any other thoughts, or shall I do the rundown of the? I mean, we've done this year before, but I gotta say, like, we still need. We may eventually do some chaser series on what is the best year ever for metal. This could be it. It might be the best year of my life, like as a conscious record buying person. Like, this might be my favorite year of metal ever.
Yeah, do the albums. And I'll give a quick yes I got, no I don't.
Yeah, you're gonna have most of these, as will I. Alice in Chains, Dirt.
No.
Shocking. Vulgar Display of Power, Pantera.
Yes.
Future podcast subject, previous podcast subjects, future. Countdown to Extinction, Megadeth.
No.
Shocking.
I have no Megadeth on vinyl right now.
That's crazy. Danzig 3, How the Gods
Kill. Bootleg, yes.
Images and Words, Dream Theater.
Nope.
Every one of these records is like a 9 or a 10. It's nuts.
Did you see the new sign next to me?
You did not talk about it, but you did decorate.
I think it looks cool.
That's pretty cool. Johnny Cash, everybody. Johnny Cash. Blues for the Red Sun, Caius.
No.
Fear of the Dark, Iron Maiden. The first non-classic. Please don't
make second non. I'm gonna make the mouth fart.
Don't make the mouth farts, please. I hate it.
Second non-classic.
Of this list that I just read off.
Oh, the list. I'm sorry. Yes, I thought you meant.
I'm not talking about their career. I'm just saying, like,
you're correct.
List.
You're correct.
This is great. The debut album by Amorphous, The Carillion Isthmus.
That's a great title, but no.
Yes. Angel Dust by Faith No More. Fuck yes.
Have it on CD somewhere.
10 of 10. Rage Against the Machine's self-titled debut album.
I bought that thing so many times, don't have it on vinyl.
I have it on vinyl. Arguably still the best black metal album ever, A Blaze in the Northern Sky by Dark Throne.
I don't have it.
Let's see. This one's a little underrated. Beyond the Crimson Horizon, Solitude Aeternus.
That's also a really pretentious title.
Very pretentious band. Meantime Helmet, the classic.
Don't like Helmet.
Something's wrong with you. Psalm 69, Ministry.
I've had that. Don't have it now.
Pure, Godflesh. I literally have every one of these except Solitude Aeternus. Something's wrong with you.
You say that
Uh,
so much, it's lost all meaning.
yeah, possibly. Epidemic of Violence from the Bronx, New York. Demolition Hammer.
I thought you were going to say propane. I don't have
No,
that.
Propane is similarly from, I don't think they're from New York. I think they're from New Jersey, but I do love them. A record I think you have, Legion by Deicide.
Not anymore. I sold that a few years ago.
Oh, shocking.
I know it got too expensive.
Fair enough. Dehumanizer, Black Sabbath.
Hell yeah, I got that. I got a bonus edition of that one. That's actually last week. That's another Rhino that I have. Really good. It's got crazy about them live bonus tracks that I don't need.
Core, Stone Temple Pilots debut album.
Got.
Onward to Golgotha, Incantation. Not one of my favorite bands, but solid.
No, I have an incantation record, but it's a much later.
Newer, yeah. The Law by Exhorter, which I have from Gimme Metal.
Nope.
Let's see, not this one. Do Manic Frustration Trouble, also a great one with the big eyeball. It's a good one.
Nope.
Another one I have several copies of, Sleep's Holy Mountain by Sleep.
I didn't know Sleep was that old.
They are that old. There's actually a pre-Sleep hardcore band that Pike had called Asbestos Death, which is a fucking fantastic name.
I had a band called Asbestos.
I know.
Our demo was called Sweet and Tasty.
That's sick. A favorite of ours, La Sexorcisto, Devil Music Volume 1, White Zombie.
Oh, got that. So got that.
Maybe the best album of that year. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Maybe. Angel Dust, Dirt, La Sexorcisto.
Vulgar.
Vulgar Display of Power. They're all very close. All today's album, The Incomplete Obituary. Extreme, 3 sides to every story.
Oh God, I hate that record.
Oh no, there's some good songs on there.
I know.
The End of Silence, Rollins Band.
I got into so many fights about that album with my best friend because he had it. I'm like, oh, it's their 3-sided record. Nick, it can't have 3 sides.
Discussed. Former podcast subject, Tomb of the Mutilated, Cannibal Corpse.
Don't have
The Crimson Idol, Wasp.
Bob Kulick plays the guitar on that.
He does. The Fourth Crusade, Bolt Thrower. You know,
had that guy. I find Bolt Thrower to be a little pedestrian.
Okay. I find Bolt Thrower to be the best British death metal band ever, except for Napalm Death, but that's me.
I've heard of Carcass though.
Carcass is great. That's true. Adrenalized by Def Leppard. One of the worst follow-up albums of all time. Even though it's not horrible, it's just
is too. It's a horrible.
I think it's got some good songs on it.
No, Let's Get Rocked is a war crime.
It's horrendous.
They should be tried in the Hague for that.
Oh fuck. Somewhere Far Beyond, Blind Guardian.
Nope.
Again, I continue to have this next run of albums. Urban Discipline, Biohazard, motherfucker, from Brooklyn.
God, I need that. I keep seeing it, but it's like $40 and I don't buy it.
Yeah, I have it. Lysol Melvins, I have it. Great.
I don't like the Melvins.
That's too bad.
The Melvins to me are like Andy Kaufman.
Future podcast subject Melvins. Shades of God.
I would do it. I would do it. No, don't have it.
Paradise Lost, no. Not this one. This is a very underrated band that I think would be interesting. Clouds by Tiamat, featuring Andy Sneap on guitar.
I would be interested in a band called Tiamat.
Yeah, Tiamat. An album I'm sure Nick has, America Must Be Destroyed by Gwar.
No, I don't have that one.
Crazy. I'm shocked.
I tried. It's really expensive. I do have This Toilet Earth. I have the follow-up, but America Must Be Destroyed had somebody told me about those pressings of those 2 records, but by the time I got there, America Must Be Destroyed was sold out.
Hello pressing coming this year. New Hello pressing. Body Count with Cop Killer.
Wait, hang on. Another pressing of Hello is coming?
Yes.
Well, I guess the first one sold out and now goes for $400.
Plus, it's like an anniversary this year, so 25.
Fuck flippers.
All right. Maybe you will write the Ghost Cult retrospective on it, finally.
And flippers?
Body Count. Self-titled.
Had that many times, do not have it now.
One of my favorite records and a favorite of Omar Cut This, Bricks Are Heavy, L7.
Oh, that's a great title.
Great album. They
play. I don't have any L7. I'd like to.
I saw them. We should do an L7 series. I saw them in June. And maybe have Omar Cut This back on to share some of those episodes.
I
I
saw them at
know
Lollapalooza.
not a record for you, but an EP for me. Broken 9 Inch Nails. Fantastic. Shut the fuck up. The Ultimate Incantation Vader.
No.
Just reissued on vinyl for the first time ever, or second time ever. Tapping the Vein Sodom. Excellent record. I have an interview coming up with Tom Angel Ripper.
Good title.
And then last two, The Extremist Satriani. I don't remember it.
That's the one with Summer Song.
Okay, that's why then.
It's his most famous.
Fair enough. And then Keep the Faith. Speaking of Bon Jovi, Bon Jovi.
I saw them on that tour.
I did too.
I like the parts where they didn't play that record.
I like the parts where they went. I like the bass line for the song "Keep the Faith" by is it Tico Torres?
I really liked when they were playing songs off of
the other stuff. It's "Keep the Faith" bass line is basically, I don't know if you ever remember the arcade game Moon Patrol. Boom 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 boom. It's like that bass line.
Do you remember who opened for that tour?
No, it's vague. Was it?
That's why. No, this is why I went. That and my mother got free tickets from the ad agency she worked at. Steve motherfucking Vai.
Oh, that would be wasn't he also in DLR at that point though?
No, this was 94.
Oh, the tour. Okay.
The tour was 94. He was touring on
Paradise.
He was touring along on Alien Love Secrets.
Okay. Featuring Devin Townsend. So, time for Obituary. You have any pre-album thoughts before we speed run this motherfucking album of greatness?
You know, we talk a lot about these amazing runs of bands, and like everybody's like, what's the best 3-album run ever? Well, the best 3-album run ever is, of course, Wish You Were Here, Animals, The Wall.
I was gonna say Dark Side, Wish You Were Here, Animals, but okay.
You can be wrong. It's fine.
If you
do it my way, you get a bonus record.
Also, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and And Justice for All.
Yeah. You know what nobody ever says though? Obituary.
That's true. That's true.
And I mean, this album, I'm not gonna give a rating, but I'm gonna start off with one. It's just the right length for death metal. It's 36 minutes. And I will say again, and I will say this always, listening to death metal at your house isn't cool for 45 to 60 minutes for one band. Listening to death metal at the club while they're playing it for you, and you see John Tardy's 8-foot-long mass of curly red hair spinning to the point where you're like, wow, how is he not hitting any other people? Do these guys practice this headbang? Because this stage is not that big, and they've all got that hair. Is different than me, putting on Cause of Death or whatever. Death metal records need to be shorter than regular records. There's no matter how progressive or technical or melodic you try to be, you will never have an album as interesting as Master of Puppets, or remotely. Master of Puppets is 50 minutes long and it feels too short. Why? Because of dynamics, because of writing, because of changes. Obituary does do some dynamic changes, but John Tardy has one gear. His vocals have one gear. And death metal vocals are like death metal blast beats. Overpowering. So you get ear fatigue. So these guys have quickly figured out the methodology, how long you do a record, how heavy you do a record. And I mean, this is, it's not an overstatement to say this is a master class on how to become leaders, become the vanguard leaders of a burgeoning genre.
That is very deep, my friend. I'm going to add that I think the problem with this album, the songs are great, performances are great. I think the problem with this album is it followed the last one that had this, Murphy leaves because I didn't want to use any of his ideas. So he puts out the Disincarnate record with all the ideas they rejected. Then he joins Cancer, the band. And they bring Alan West back in, who's fucking great, like no fucking shade. He's a great songwriter, great guitar player. He's just not the shred wizard supreme that Murphy is,
Yeah,
right?
there's no shred on this record. There's a great blues solo.
There's some great solos. They're not
They're not shred. That's all I'm
wizard
saying.
level, and you have Morbid Angel and Death that have wizard level guitar playing, but that's
Oh
fine.
my God, yeah. And
And
then,
it's 92, so also Cynic is existing at this point, and Death is existing, about to put out their arguably best record.
oh, and
Cynic
you have
us,
Deicide with like two wizard level guitar players, and
right? The brothers
it's
still. But like, so here's the thing though. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is a fantastic record, and I think there's a sameness because it's all the same key all the way through. But at the same time, what they did, not only did you write about everything you said, I agree completely with everything you said right before I started talking. But what I think is particularly interesting is you kind of covered it slightly, which is they not only honed in on how to write songs, they honed in on how to change dynamics. Dynamics is where this album wins, because otherwise it's kind of samey if they didn't have these dynamic shifts that really keep my interest as a listener. So
even with the dynamic changes, it's still pretty samey.
a little samey compared to the last record, but this is their best-selling record, and it doesn't. I don't know that this. I mean, they still play a lot of it. I gotten to see them do this entire album at like a Metal and Beer Fest, where they were like specially commissioned to do the whole thing. So no shade. Let's quickly run with our last
Real quick,
30 minutes.
Mitch Hedberg had a joke about death metal. It's one of my favorite jokes ever. He's like, I listen to a lot of metal, man, and a lot of these metal bands have these really extreme names, like Mortuary, or Obituary, or Cannibal Corpse. We weren't that serious, so we went with Injured. We turned into an a cappella band right after we left the pawn shop. That is a great joke.
It is a great joke. You've told it before on here.
I will tell it 1,000 more times.
When we mentioned the band Ingrown that opened for Cannibal Corpse, you're like, that joke came true. Ingrown. This is how lazy we're getting. There's so many, like I love the band Undeath, had one of the best death metal records of last year, but Undeath is literally one of the laziest fucking names of all time.
Okay, here I'm gonna.
You have Undeath at the same time as Sanguisugabog or whatever the fuck they're called, Sanguisugabog. So like, it's possible you can have a fun.
My
name.
death metal band is going to be called Infected Papercut.
Damn it! I have one right now. It sucks.
What the hell?
Not kidding.
All right, let's do this. You
Track
ready?
listing, me or you?
I'll lead it. Track 1 sounds like me. I'm in pain.
The song of every 50-year-old man. This is some lazy.
I have physical therapy tomorrow.
This is some lazy fucking song titles here on this record. I'm not gonna lie, they definitely are.
No, totally.
We're running out of ideas. However, this song fucking rules. This is
the thing about Obituary
top
is
3 song on the album.
Okay, not just Obituary, but most death metal bands. You're not listening to them for the depth of the lyrics and these amazing titles that bring you to strange new places.
Chapters from the Canterbury Tales. It is not.
No, this isn't even. It's not even the cliff notes of that. I mean, it's just not. But you know what? This is a great slimy death metal track. It's what I love about Obituary is this whole record is how they are able to go slow and fairly simple. This is not a riffy record. They do delve into the Tampa Bay a little bit, just a little bit. And again, like last week, they go really slow in order to make the sound much faster than it really is. But no, good track. Great
opening song.
Great opening song. And you know what? If you're not going to go 5-1, you're going to go back to 1.
Fair. Back to 1. A quick question. Is it fair to say that this is the thrashiest Obituary early album?
No. None of it. I
find a lot of thrash riffs in here. And I think the halftime thing came in from hardcore into death metal at this point. A lot of bands have been doing it. But
I don't think there's enough thrash in any of it.
I think there's quite a bit of thrash on it.
I don't think there's enough.
It's
too slow. It's mid tempo. It's like Metallica. It's like they play at the speed of Load, which works great for them.
It does work for them. Yeah, that's fair.
And that's what.
Well, when you say Load, you mean 2x4. You don't mean Hero of the Day or
no. I mean
you don't mean King Nothing Load Reload. You mean like
Yeah, 2x4. Yeah. Yeah, 2x4 or Until It Sleeps. You know that it's a dirge,
That
and
it
they're
is.
the only dirgy death metal band. Everybody else is like, we're gonna play at 858 beats per minute. It's so fast that the drummer can't even play it, so
That
he's
is
just doing triggers.
Lars is not in this conversation, and that is not a Florida accent, but I know what you mean.
I wasn't doing a Florida accent. I don't know how to do one.
Florida man. Hey, Cletus. We need
Hey,
a,
hey,
we
let
need
me
an
get a
idiot
picture of
proof.
that pointy-haired little girl.
We need an idiot. We're gonna see if this barricade is idiot proof. My time to shine. Simpsons movie forever.
I have not seen it.
What? You have Disney. Watch it. They have everything.
So I said to the kid, eat your own butt today. And her response was, Dad, you only say that when you don't have a comeback.
She started calling you father.
Yesterday, she's like,
Father.
Mom, tell your husband.
Fuck.
And I'm like,
Go to
what
your
the?
room. Go to your room now.
And I'm like, what the hell? I'm not your. She looks at
Getting
me
like excommunicated in your own house.
So I look at her and I go, you're not my real daughter.
That's pretty good.
I mean, she is, but
Right.
anyway,
That's pretty good.
let's move on to Dead Silence. You know what the best part about this track is? It's not Dead Silence. It's fucking death
It's
metal.
very loud. Yeah, it's a good song. It's a good song to blast loud. This is again top 3-4 songs on the record. Straight up Tardy and Alan West. Alan West would come back in the band. You know, they had used a couple of his songs on the last record, left over from they were playing them live. We talked about the live set. And he comes back in, man, with like, you know, I don't know if they didn't like Murphy. You know, his shit is great. He writes songs for every band he's in that are fucking stellar. And he is the shred wizard. But like, I guess Alan comes back in. He's like, yo, guys, I got some songs. And they're like, we know what you can do already. Bring them in. And
But they're not a
them.
shred wizard band. It doesn't really work for them.
It did on that record. But
Anyway, let's jump a little quicker.
yeah.
Because I want to go over the set list for this
Yeah,
tour.
sure. Lazy ass fucking title, fourth song.
In the End of Life. Okay.
Fucking
Lazy
dumb title.
You know
Good
what?
song.
John Tardy's got the pipes to carry off Lazy.
And he's not, as we said, on the first, he can literally, there's 40 words on the whole first album sung or screamed on the whole first Obituary record. So it's not like there's a lot of verbosity happening here.
No, damn it. I was going to say he's not verbose. He lacks some loquaciousness. But you know what? Sometimes simple is the message. You know what? I mean, America speaks at a 4th grade level. So you know what? And Florida probably speaks at a 3rd grade level.
You're being generous.
I know I am. Let's flip the record for Sickness.
My favorite song on this record. Absolutely a fucking banger.
The whole record's bangers, really. I mean,
it's true. But this is especially great. And I got to be honest, it's got a thrash riff in it. That's why I like it. It's got a choppy chop. Had thrash metal, crossover thrash riff with the death metal vocals. It's perfection. Nobody would do it better until Jungle Rot came along a few years later.
You know what? To call this whole record kind of crossover is not out of bounds. It's it's almost. I mean, death metal is thrash plus Motorhead plus We Want to Be Heavier Than Lemmy.
That's not unfair. I'll take that.
That's how Paul Speckman of Master put it to me.
Your dude,
He's like, you know, I asked him, you know, where'd it come from? He said, you know, we heard Motorhead, we wanted to be heavier, so that's what I did. And he also plays bass, so that checks out. Corrosive, another great song. I mean, this record, this is soft underbelly time.
Yeah, Trevor Perez, really, if you think about what he put down on these first few records is fucking ridiculous, bro. Like his amount of song, but I'm saying like his song craft, what he brought to the table. He's the only consistent factor beside the Tardys is him and them. Any song that's the two Tardy brothers and him, it's almost always a fucking bop.
It's so weird to me how they keep changing out guitar players and bass players. That happened
later. Yeah, that happens later. Well, I mean,
but it still sounds like Obituary. It never stops sounding like that.
Ends up being the bassist for like the longest time. So
they got a guy that was in Death now. I forget his name.
Yeah.
Killing Time. Yeah, it's probably
soft underbelly.
Maybe a little.
The punk rock band Killing Time is better with their song Killing Time, but yeah, not this.
The Metallica cover that was amazing.
That was very.
And complete. Thankfully, it's not the end. We got one more track after
Title
this, but you know
track.
what? I believe this is the one that has the really kick-ass bluesy solo.
Yes.
And I mean, this to conceptualize a death metal record, not just a death metal record, but from the classic era by one of the most classic bands, to have a death metal record that doesn't have shred. I mean, it doesn't have shred, it has spread. This has cheese whiz. It doesn't have the whiz. It doesn't have fret wizards.
PUBGs.
Pub cheese is fucking delicious. If you say an unkind word about pub cheese, I will
I can't.
slap the
I
I will
can't.
slap the taste
It's
out your
very high
mouth.
in calories for me, but I do love it. Yeah.
There's a Budweiser pub cheese that I mean is just
Really?
one. It costs way too much money. It's double the cost of every other pub cheese,
Oh no, fuck that then.
but it's totally worth it
Oh,
because one, it's more delicious. Two, it's smaller.
interesting. That's very interesting.
So you don't get as many calories as you would from the regular pub cheese
Yeah,
because it's
maybe.
only
You
half of
should
it.
eat the whole fucking thing. It's impossible not to.
Yeah,
Um,
especially when you buy the jalapeno one. Oh my God, I bought a jalapeno pub cheese. It was delicious.
Interesting. So the title track is every obituary title track is always a fucking fire, and then take us home with the final.
They finished it out with Rotting Ways, another Tardy West joint.
Yeah, solid.
Again, you know what? They're this record is kind of like one really long song.
Well, again, there's a little. They didn't change the key. There's not a lot of chord. There's not a lot of chord changes. It's kind of the same. How many times can we stay in one key and play a bunch of different riffs? Apparently nine, at least.
It's the riffs aren't that different. Uh, kind of
It's okay.
differentish riffs.
It's still great though. I mean,
It is great.
this is their biggest selling album. This
I don't
is
know why.
I I think it's the one that followed the one that everybody loved, and they didn't
Okay,
they came right
so
out with it. And
this is the one
maybe
that
Roadrunner pushed this one extra hard, and
this is the one that
it's
this
the
is the
death
one that
metal record that came out.
follows. It
The Black
follows the
Album.
classic
When we do future spoiler, when we do Metallica again, we can
next
discuss the
series.
effect. We can discuss the effect of the Black Album before and everything after, because
That's fair.
definitely suddenly people are into metal that were never into metal. Suddenly people that were sort of closet metalheads were like, I'm buying every record by every band. And some people were like, fuck that Metallica shit. I'm only buying extreme shit. And like they all bought Obituary and Immolation and
Well,
Morbid
you
Angel and Deicide.
so this is the record that follows the super mega classic Duke of New York A#1, just like South of Heaven follows. South of Heaven probably sold more than Angel of Death or Raining Blood, and I'm sure, absolutely sure that Season of the Abyss outsold them all by far. But so maybe this is the one where you've got dudes in their basement telling their buddies that are into Metallica now, well, there's this band Obituary that put a record out, and then they buy the next one because they see it and they remember it. But it's this is a year, as we discussed at the top of the meet. This is just a banner year for metal. There has never been another year like this where you have so many amazing bands. You have Pantera finally jumping into the mainstream. You have White Zombie being saved by Beavis and Butthead. You have Helmet and Nine Inch Nails, bands I don't love but are important. It's a great year. But let's quickly discuss July 22nd, 1992. Obituary plays the Ritz. Where's that, Keefy? Where's the Ritz?
The Ritz is in my hometown of New York City. Fun fact, I snuck into the Ritz before I was 21 and got to go into shows because I had long ass hair in high school till like my graduation year, and I had to cut my hair. But like I got into the Ritz before I was supposed to, and it was great.
I mentioned to the wife yesterday when we heard Fame that you went there.
I did go there.
She's like, "What?"
It is now Webster Hall. That is the name of the same venue that was the Ritz.
Oh, okay. I have a Metallica record where they recorded
You
there.
do. I didn't get to go to that show. I was heartbroken.
I
Yeah.
didn't get to go either. Fuck you.
Well, I was living there at the time. I should have been able to go. I was snubbed.
How many people does it even fit?
Like a fucking not even 1,000, maybe
Yeah, that's what I
500,
thought.
600. Then I went to the other show over here that was 500 people, so that was cool.
All right. I have never done that. So I'd see them typically in venues that seat as much as a rural Missouri county. So they played 14 tracks off this record, 5 off the first two each, and 4 off incomplete. Listen to this, all right? Internal bleeding, godly beings, turned inside out, dying, cause of death, I'm in pain, back to one, intoxicated, the end complete, find the arise, killing time, memories remain. Oh, time for a breather. They come back with Slowly We Rot and Words of Evil.
That's a pretty great set list. I will say, I know we like the song Dying, also a lazy fucking title. Jesus.
They're all lazy titles.
This shouldn't be. Not this band.
These dudes are drunk on camouflage bush light.
And drinking Night Train and eating corn nuts.
Look, they got Mad Dog and the Boone's wine. I mean, we're not talking about, we're just not talking about philosophers here, right? These guys ain't the Doors. And that's fine. Because I don't know what the hell he's saying anyway. There's not that many words. John Tardy sings in about a quarter time to the music. And it works for them. It is a formula that works for them.
Who is the Doors of death metal? That would be a fantastic analysis.
Carcass?
No, because it's not poetry.
Heartwork forward. Heartwork is.
I guess. I don't think so.
Oh, you're wrong.
I don't think Jeff is the Morrison of the Doors of whatever of death metal.
Death metal, yeah. I mean, you got to really handicap this.
Cynic would be my pick there, but like whatever.
I'm going with Carcass. Think about the song Heartwork. Canvas to paint.
Yeah.
Other words, bait. They rhyme.
Other words. Gurgle, gargle, gurgle, schmurgle. Burgy, durgy, schmurgy, durgy.
Yeah, but
that's
who is the Jim Morrison of death metal? The Swedish fucking chef. Hurdy gurdy moony moony.
Cookie Monster. The Cookie Monster.
I would love to hear. I would love to hear a Swedish Chef death metal record. I would buy that. Okay, you know what? No, the Jim Morrison of death metal is David Vincent. According to David Vincent.
Yeah, that's why I would say no, because he's his own,
He's his own biggest fan.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
He likes himself more than I like me.
Great band, but I'm good actually.
No, great record. A band that put out one great record.
I'd say 3 or 4, but okay.
Really? That's just one for me.
A, B, C, D. Let's wrap it up. It's my turn to take us home. Do you have any final thoughts on this third Obituary record? One more to go.
Final thoughts? That's next week, bro. Teaser.
You said you weren't going to give this album a grade. I would probably give this a high.
No, I said I wasn't going to give it then.
Okay, what's your grade?
I honestly, I got to go 10 out of 10 on this one.
Not quite perfect. I think if you got one weak song, it takes it off a 10. I think a definite 9.
For me, this record creates a mood, and you live in that mood the whole time. And even though one track 8, by the way, even though one track isn't to the quality of the other, I'm sorry, track 7. I thought it was a 10 track. Death metal typically is 10 tracks, 40 minutes tops. But even though you have one song that lacks some of the quality of the others, it's not bad. It's not filler. It's for killer. It's not, it doesn't need to be there. It doesn't need to not be there. It doesn't take away. So it's still 10 out of 10 because the record itself, and I listened to this on the way home for the second time today because I realized at 2:30, oh fuck, I got to listen to Obituary and I haven't even started. So I put my time in. But I'm listening to this on the way home on my drive home in the snow. We had Winter Storm Blair hit us this week. And yesterday I was pulling out chunks of 4-inch thick ice out of my alley from behind my garage. That was awesome when I was sick and ready to.
And you weren't feeling well. Yeah. You're not feeling well. We have. I'm safe and fine in Northern California, but if you haven't looked at the news, Southern California is on fucking fire, and I hope everybody. Literally. Actually on fire. I hope everybody's okay. I know a lot of people in the fire zone. Terrible.
My stepbrother went back, or my brother-in-law went back to San Francisco yesterday. I was actually supposed to drive him. I tried to get my car out of the. I told him, I'm like, let me see if I can get my car out. I got it out. I couldn't get it back in. So it took like 6 dudes to help me put my car back into my garage. That was awesome. And I
Mm.
had to apologize for being a shitty neighbor. And I was talking to the lady, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just a really bad neighbor, and I'm sorry, I just don't talk to anybody. And she's like, it's okay, it's fine. And she's like, so if I say hi to you, you're just gonna ignore me? I'm like, no, 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 I don't do that. And my wife and lawyer wife immediately goes, please do that. If you see him, talk to him. I don't want him to ignore you.
Yikes.
She just wants me to not be a terrible neighbor. I mean, anyway.
Well,
So
on that
okay,
note,
back on topic. This I'm gonna say it's a 10 of 10, but only just. It's not my favorite. It's kind of like Kiss.
it's a 10 to 10 just, but it's not my favorite. Okay. I'm gonna give this record a 10. What was the one you were like, I'm gonna give this record a 10, but it has no good songs? Mastodon. This record's a 10, but I still don't like it. Amazing. Fuck.
Just because something is good, look, if you make the best coleslaw in the world or the best mayonnaise in the world, it can be a 10 of 10 mayonnaise.
Still mayonnaise.
Right, I'm not gonna eat it.
Mm.
Just you can make a 10 of 10, you can make a 10 of 10 sauce. Doesn't mean it's good for me, doesn't mean it tastes good. Personal tastes are personal.
It's true.
Cause of death is where I got on the train. And your first love, your first record with a band, especially a band that just goes on for decades and decades and decades, will always continue to be your favorite. It will always hold a special place in your heart. It will always be better than Abigail in your head.
Can't not mention King Diamond or Kiss. You're crazy. All right. With that
The
note,
best Kiss album is Carnival of Souls, but my
get the
favorite,
fuck out of here.
the best as an album, it is the best. My favorite is still the debut.
Fair enough. With that out of the way, you, and you have been listening to the Glacially Musical Podcast, beer metal and swearing vinyl, sometimes some NHL hockey, a lot of conjecture about stuff, a lot of arguing, pop culture references, and other things. Thank you for listening to this episode. If you somehow made it this far, you know you are a real one, and we appreciate you. Hit that like and subscribe, ding that notification bell, leave us a review. All these things help. We appreciate it. And as we say every week at the Glacially Musical Podcast, it does not play in Peoria, but surely somewhere James Murphy played Peoria right after he left Obituary.
John Casey.
Who?
John Casey. One of the greatest goalies that nobody ever talks about.
Well, that's
I called him John Coma Casey because he was so nonchalant.
great. All right. Peace, y'all.